Alright, so we are back, of course, to talk about some Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I wasn't sure if we're going to put out a second video today, but there's obviously a lot to go over and a lot to talk about, and I want to discuss this shit while it's fresh in my mind. So obviously with State of Play, we got the PS5 version of Remake revealed that is called Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. It has the trappings you expect from like an enhanced version, enhanced graphics. You can play it in like 4K, which is like graphics mode or something I think they refer to it as, or you can play it like where it's like more about the optimization of the gameplay. You can play it like 60 FPS if you want to. And of course, just the visuals overall are enhanced, and it did come with a photo mode. That was part of the prediction for like the PS5 version. But clearly the biggest deal here, the biggest reveal of all this, is an episode for Yuffie. The DLC that's specific to Yuffie. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, that gave me chills. That was surprising as fuck. There was not a single hint or whisper of anything like this. This is not what anybody thought it would be. It'd be either be Tifa DLC, or it's going to be something involving Zack, or maybe the Calm flashback or something. That's all that was out there. There was zero rumors for this. They kept this shit hidden. She looks great. She sounds great. She acts like how I always pictured Yuffie would act in like a modern interpretation of FF7. There's also some other new characters. This guy right here, Sonin or something like that. I think he's new. He could be from like a random book or novel somewhere that I just don't know anything about. Oddly enough, despite this not being the Tifa DLC that we're expecting, it seems to be taking place almost exactly where everybody thought that Tifa DLC would take place, like, you know, leading up to Don Corneo, because at this point where it's taking place where we see Barret and Tifa, like, they've already separated from Cloud, so Cloud's already fallen down to the Sector 5 slums. Anyways, you control Yuffie throughout the DLC, of course, which is awesome. The Sonin guy fights alongside her. I don't know if there's going to be any other controllable characters. We only see these two, like, fighting alongside each other. And they have combo attacks, which is what people wanted from Remake, they thought Remake was going to have. Kind of similar to what Final Fantasy 15 has. We actually see this guy, like, throwing Yuffie around, like, her jumping up on his stick or pole arm or whatever it is, and, like, throwing her around and shit. There's like this weird frame from one of the Remake trailers where it looked like Tifa was hopping up on Cloud's Buster Sword and he was throwing her around, but of course that was not the case. It almost seems like Square Enix listened to the community and added that into this DLC. Now the description, according to the Remake Twitter account, says the enhanced and expanded Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is coming to PlayStation 5 on June 10th. We're including a brand new episode, play as the ninja Yuffie Kisaragi and infiltrate the Shinra Corporation to steal a powerful materia. And I wanted to read that description for you guys, because I've watched the trailer a few times, and I don't know if they ever really say what the goal of the DLC is, like the story, like her going after that powerful materia. The tweet does. I don't think they ever say it in the trailer, unless I missed it. And obviously right here we get some really cool looking boss fights, big-ass machines. It's a big, like, staple, it seems like, with Remake, at least with the Midgar segment. Maybe even FF7 in general. Maybe I'm not remembering all the bosses, but you find a lot of fucking machines in this game. And oh yeah, the other big reveal from this trailer is at the end they show goddamn Whis, I think is how you say his name, Weiss, I don't know, from Dirge of Cerberus is a part of this DLC. That's a massive reveal, man. That is directly connecting Dirge of Cerberus to Remake now. That's not like Easter eggs and bullshit, man. They're straight up putting a Dirge of Cerberus character into this game. Now, my thoughts on this DLC aside, because it is pretty much overwhelmingly positive. How could it not be? This looks great. It seems like this might be PS5 only. Now, to be clear here, I don't have any evidence to support that it isn't coming to PS4. They're just only talking about the PS5 stuff. Like, I think Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is what they're calling the PS5 version. And I think maybe the Yuffie DLC is going to be just included with that. And there is a chance that they might sell this separate when it comes to, you know, PS4. Like we've talked about in the past. Like the PS5, we've talked about this in the past a lot. The PS5 version getting some piece of DLC with it. And then us here on the PlayStation 4 having to just buy that DLC separate, which I'm perfectly fine with. Now, until we have confirmation one way or the other, I'm not going to get pissed off. I'm still a little on edge because we just don't know as of right now. I hope to God they're not that fucking stupid. I hope they don't lock, you know, DLC for Remake behind next gen where you got to buy a brand new console and shit. That's just stupid. We talked about how that is a problem several times in the past, and if you go to like the comment section of like the videos being uploaded to YouTube and the replies to the social media tweets, people are, you know, questioning and asking, like they are curious as well, like, do I need to own a PS5 for this shit? Now, somebody did point out with the video I put out earlier today that the IGN description for this trailer does say that it's coming to PS4 and PS5. Now, whether or not that's true remains to be seen, of course. And as of right now, this is really my only worry when it comes to this DLC, this episode, which, by the way, they do refer to it as an episode for Yuffie a few times, which is kind of interesting. Maybe there's going to be other episodes in the future. But it is a big complaint, right? This is a worry we've talked about quite a few times, and it doesn't make sense to me monetarily if it was only PS5, but if they confirm that, you know, this DLC is coming to PS4 as well, like we just have to buy it, the PS5 players are getting it for free or whatever, if you buy this version, you get it for free or whatever that is going on, I have no problems. If we can get it on PS4, if I can buy this shit on my PS4, I have zero complaints, and it's overwhelmingly positive, and I'm happy. Fucking happy. Now, on to what I cannot even believe I am talking about right now. We finally got Ever Crisis and First Soldier revealed. They revealed that shit on the Twitter, social medias, and like YouTube and stuff like that. And I'll be god motherfucking damned. I'm cursing a lot in this video. I'll be god motherfucking damned if those are not mobile games. The First Soldier, and I'm serious when I say this, is a goddamn... I can't do it. The First Soldier is a mobile battle royale game. They're making a battle royale game out of Final Fantasy VII. God is dead. What year does Square Enix think this is, my dudes? Like, they're so far behind on catching on to the battle royale trend. If this game came out a couple years back, yeah, it might be a big deal. Now, I'm sure it'll still be successful and popular, being that it is a part of the Final Fantasy brand, but more specifically attached to Final Fantasy VII. But this is... I didn't want a mobile game. I more didn't want this. Look, I'm being super negative, man. It might be fun. I'm definitely going to check it out. I enjoyed COD Mobile. If it's anything like that, I played the Battle Royale for COD Mobile quite a bit. It was pathetically easy. I'm telling you, and no joke, me and my friend and brother played a lot, and we never lost. The Battle Royale. Like 100% ratio. It's insane. So if it's anything like that, it's just going to be kind of boring. If there's some PvE right here, we see fighting the Scorpion Sentinel and stuff like that. If that's a thing, that could be kind of interesting, I guess. And the other saving grace for this, like I've talked about in the past, if there ended up being mobile games, is lore. And being that this is set like 30 years before the events of FF7, and it's like the start of the Soldier program, there could be some lore with that, and that can at least be interesting. Now this next one I'm not actually mad about, really, despite it being a mobile game, which is not really what we wanted or expected. It's just like an episodic retelling of the Final Fantasy VII story, including the entire compilation. Dirge of Cerberus, Advent Children, FF7, Crisis Core. They don't mention Before Crisis, which I thought was kind of interesting. That'd be kind of cool if we could have replayed that. What's interesting here is you're getting essentially like a cartoonish style remaster of FF7 and like the entire compilation, right? The gameplay even seems to be turn-based. You don't see like the character running around in combat. You're just waiting for your ATB gauge to fill up and you're doing your attacks and things like that. Now, they do refer to it as both chapter-based and episodic, so I'm assuming that whenever this launches, I don't know how much we're going to get to play. Are you going to get to play all of the FF7 story, and then you got to kind of wait for like the compilation stuff? I don't know. Also, the other question you got to ask when it comes to both these mobile games is price. Now, I'm going to assume the Battle Royale would be free. That's kind of the structure, the norm when it comes to Battle Royales these days, to make their money off of microtransactions. With this being a chapter-based game, an episodic-style game, I imagine that's going to cost money. So how much per episode? How many episodes are there going to be? Speaking of the First Soldier, that mobile game, that Battle Royale is coming out sometime within 2021. Ever Crisis, which is this mobile episodic retelling of the FF7 compilation, this is coming out sometime within 2022. So it's a little ways away. Either way, we're definitely going to be covering and talking about these mobile games just because it does pertain to Final Fantasy VII. And hopefully with the First Soldier, there's at least some lore to be had there. That's something that could be interesting. I don't know if there'd be anything new in regards to this, since it's just retelling the FF7 story. Either way, this does actually look kind of cool. It just kind of depends on what the price is. If it's like, $15-20 per episode, hard pass. But to kind of bring the video to a close, it's pretty much all positive here. Outside of the Battle Royale game, I'm kind of iffy on that. And whether or not the DLC is PS4 and PS5, or if it's just PS5 exclusive, because again, that's a negative, that's a bad. Also want to throw this in here at the end as well. Novtra was correct. Novtra said, or predicted at least, that they thought we'd get this PS5 reveal for Remake within February. It took almost to the end of the month, but they were correct on that. So that just kind of adds to that credibility of Novtra in the future. So we can trust them a little more with stuff in the future as well. But either way, my dudes, that is pretty much the video. We didn't really do a breakdown of the Yuffie DLC trailer. That's not really what this video is meant to be. I just kind of want to get my thoughts on this. I wish I'd done a reaction video, to be honest, guys. I didn't know how likely it was that we'd see something at the event, so I didn't want to set up everything for a reaction video and then nothing happened. Also, I need to throw this in, almost forgot. The remake soundtrack is coming to Apple Music, Spotify, and Amazon Music tomorrow. Which is great, because honestly, I like to listen to music a lot on Spotify, and I actually was trying to track down the soundtrack, and it's more like fan covers or something. I couldn't find it. It'll be nice to have the official soundtrack on there finally. But of course, that's the video. I want to pass off to you guys in the comment section. What are your thoughts? A lot to go over today. There was a lot revealed. There's so much. Mobile games, DLC, PS5 version. What are your thoughts on all this shit? And also the soundtrack coming out. Other than my dudes, that's the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys aren't new. What's up, more Final Fantasy VII Remake content. Final Fantasy VII content, apparently Final Fantasy VII mobile game content. Turn on my notifications, follow me on Twitter, @DashingDavidYT, and my Discord. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.
No freaking way!
Used to care what people thought, but now I care more, and nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore, I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect. We spend it with no shame. We blow that like Coltrane. We in here like Low Gain or leave it like Cobain.